party people. How we living? How we loving? What's up? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Okay. LOL, I appreciate you for that love. Okay, I claim that as my happy time end.
That's a cheat.
Claim it.
Cheater.
Okay, I will not claim it. But I want to. I definitely want to. But I won't. But I want to. Y'all know how we start. Get ready to tell us what made you happy this week. What brought you some joy? Joyful, joyful night. Okay, I'm not gonna go off because I can't hit Lauren's notes. So we just gonna know joyful, joyful is where I'm going. But I'm gonna pause because I'm not gonna get there. So joyful, joyful. What brought you some joy this week? What made you happy this week? Tell us, tell
I'm
us, tell
happy
us.
because it's a Friday and
Setting the
I'm
bar
off
real
tomorrow.
low. Setting
Wow,
that bar
super.
hella fucking low.
I made it this week
It's
not
Friday.
killing anybody. I kept my job till Friday.
That is You know what? I fucks with it. I'll take it. That's where we at. That's where we at. Chonsky, made you happy? Chronic, what made you happy? LOL, what made you happy? What made you happy? Clap along if you feel like a room without a... I missed you too. Tell us what made you happy, happy, happy. LOL is just out here. Blessings, pun blessings, pun blessings. I fucks with it heavily. What made you happy? Kuchiki, Zajax, what brought y'all some joy? I love that I refer to them as like a unit, a conglomerate, and they're so clearly two people, but I be talking to them like they want. Yo, you just really
All
in here
right.
going off. Go off. See, this makes us happy. It's not necessary. It's not needed, but it's so loved. We just love you, fam. We love you thickly. Tell your wife I said what up. Love her. Zajax, talk to us. Made you happy. Made you happy. I'm still waiting on you, LOL. Talk
You
to me.
know what made me happy this week?
Yeah. Made you happy.
The fact that the locks beat the fuck up out of Dipset.
First
That's all I
off,
wanted to say about that.
we not
That's
going to start with all this hostility, okay?
that's it, and that's
First
all.
off, it was a
Yes.
win for New York,
I ain't gonna
okay?
lie.
It was, but we know who really won.
First off,
Was
you're
it?
not coming for Harlem like that, okay? You're not doing that. That's what you're not doing.
I just wanted to say what
That's,
I said, and I said it, and that's
you
it.
know what? And you're going to unsay it. Backspace, delete, white out, okay? We're not starting off with negativity. We're
Yeah,
not
oh,
doing that.
I'm happy.
Now
That
I
makes me
remembered
happy.
all that Brooklyn shade from before.
First off, we're not going back into yesteryear. We're not digging in the archives, fam. Okay? Why are you digging in the past? Calba, what are you doing?
I'm just saying. I heard through the
LOL is like, yes, let's talk
grapevine
about
that
this
Dipset
versus.
got their
Let's
ass
not.
beat.
Let's not dig in the archives. Let's keep the peace like a peacekeeper. Like that DC movie Suicide Squad. Did you see Suicide? Let's talk about Suicide Squad.
I
Let's
don't give
talk
a
about
shit. Let's do
that.
the shit
What up,
starting.
beauty queen Sube? My beauty queen. Hi. Let's talk about positive things. Let's not talk about this versus battle. Let's not talk about that.
Wow.
And you know what, Zay? Zay is lucky I fucking love her because anyone else. No, we respect all opinions even when they're wrong here. So, nah, I fucking
Oh,
love Zay.
she's
And
right.
she is absolutely right. The locks fucking cooked Dipset. Like they fucking I'm not gonna say they owned Harlem, but they definitely bought a couple blocks of real estate with that goddamn battle. It was bad. It was not. It was like, damn. You let them style on you like that? Oh, you of them flex like that. When he with the bandana, like, it was just
I'm waiting for a fight to break
damn,
out.
damn. What up, meow meow, Spider Cat in the
He's like, "Oh, you gonna walk
building?
away from me?
We
All
are
right,
still
you
talking
walk
about
away
things
from
that
me.
brought us
You
joy
have to
this
go to
week.
Okay, well, what brought you joy this week?
It brought Zay joy to see Harlem get smacked. What up, it's Deck. Hi and bye, much love, work in 6 hours. It brought me joy to see you in here, it's Deck. Brought me joy. Mary J would win? Yes. Auntie MJ. Yes.
Against who?
Does it matter?
Mary J against Lauryn Hill.
Mary's no up.
Lauren's not gonna show up.
First of all, she's not. That's number one. She's not gonna show up. And if she do, I
Oh
love
my
Lauren to
Gonna
death,
show
but
up.
I'm smoking the fuck out of her. And that's
Oh.
But are they in the same category?
Auntie MJ said no more hateration in this dancery.
period.
That's it. On period.
I feel like Mary would make more songs, but Lauren would have me deeper in my feelings.
You must have not have heard the first 4
My
hours.
My
of
life
the-
was nothing.
That's
Time
her
on my
career.
hand since you've been away, boy.
Right.
And
That's
It was
I
enough.
good
ain't
music.
got no
I'm not saying it's
plans.
not good music, but it didn't have me in my feelings like Lauren Hill.
Girl, I was singing the fuck out of that song, and my little 12-year-old
Because it's
ass
a
ain't
good
know what that
song.
song was about.
Because it's a good song. I'm not saying she doesn't make
Like,
good songs, but it don't have
I
me
was
in my.
all up in my little feelings, and my feelings didn't know what they were feeling. I was just in it. I was in my Birkin, and I was like, yes, sing it. And I didn't know what we were singing. I didn't know. I'm so confused. Lauren just had me with the doo-wop, you know. I just
Listen,
never...
you listen to Lauren sing "Eye on the Sparrow."
See, I've never heard her sing that, so I guess maybe that's why. I like Sister Act, Joyful, Joyful. Yeah, okay. You know. That was, you know, her whole being on that movie was like, okay, I fucks with you, Lauren. Killing Me Softly. That one gets me. But I'm like, I think if you compared Lauren to Mary, I feel like everybody gonna be like, Mary. Like, why did Lauren even show up if she shows up? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
because Mary would make more music.
No, but I think Mary has you going through your emotions. She got something for everything, and I don't think Lauren has that. Personally, for me, as a person who was like always looking for something to sing along to, I have more things of Mary that I sing along to than I do of Lauren.
But that's what I'm saying. So
That's
for music
good
that
shit.
at least
Well, good shit. Yeah, right? But just can't be without you? Suvin, I didn't even think about that shit. Damn.
I'll
And I
go
ain't
and
even got somebody I'm gonna
but the
sing that
emotions.
about. I can bet out all these motherfuckers. Fuck all y'all.
You was over there doing some fuck shit.
Damn. Good shit. We'll push out some joy. We still waiting. I'ma go last.
Yes.
Fantasia versus MGC.
Yes.
I don't even like
Yes.
Fantasia, so I would still go Mary. I can't stand Fantasia.
I think Fantasia's going against Jennifer.
She's about to, yeah.
Does Fantasia have the discography? I don't listen to Fantasia, so I don't know. That is a genuine.
She has the discography to go against Jennifer Hudson. She doesn't have the discography to go against Mary J. Blige.
Never.
Gotcha. Okay, see,
Yeah.
I don't know anything Fantasia. There's probably like
You don't know
one
When I
song.
See You? Come on now.
If you
I don't like Fantasia, so I don't know anything Fantasia. When I hear her voice, I hit skip.
Like,
So that's why I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what she has. That's why I'm like, does she have enough to go against Jennifer? Because I don't know what she has.
I listen to
That wasn't me being shady. That's literally me not knowing what she has.
A little bit of shade.
No!
I mean, I don't know
He was
Jennifer
like, nah,
Hudson's
you was a little
discography
shady because
either.
you was like, nah, with Fantasia, come on, I skipped. Like, we I just feel like.
I mean, I do. I don't
We didn't need
like
the
the way
details.
that
Even I
she
just have it in the
sings.
background. Nope.
She
If
spent
No,
the
do
last 2
not
seconds
disrespect
repeating herself.
Joe. Do not come.
Jill already
Are
went
you
with Erica and
serious?
it was a love
Look,
fest. So
Joe went with Badu, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
and that was a whole. Everybody won with that one. We all were winners.
he won. The audience won. That's it.
Everybody won.
Okay, let me
Ruben
just
Studdard
say,
versus
Why?
Beyonce.
Why?
What? First of all,
Why?
we not about to do this. We not
Why?
about to do this. We're not about to play these games because you're
Could
not
we
about to
could we
know.
do a Rihanna versus Beyonce though? Would that be a legit hit
2004?
for hit?
Oh no. No.
No,
Beyonce.
it
Out
still
of
wouldn't be
pocket.
valid. Like who
Beyonce
has
is
the
someone that
discography to go against
Everybody that could have
if
battled
we just
Beyonce
going
is
hit for
dead.
hit, if we just going hit for hit, maybe Rihanna and Beyonce,
Yeah, that's
just
Yeah,
because
okay.
they're more stratosphere,
Different
but
hit. I
you
mean,
can't really compare
the
them.
whole thing, like the whole.
Y'all talking to beehivers, y'all.
The only
Just be
person that can go
cool.
against Beyonce that has mad hits like Beyonce, and they're not even in the same category, is Nicki Minaj.
Right.
Like they're the
And they're not the
only.
same.
They literally, there's no other
You're
singer
also talking about
that can go against Beyonce.
Yeah, I don't know another singer.
There's not another. They're not in the same category, but there is no other singer of our generation that can go against Beyonce. There's
Of
nobody.
our gen- I think intermediate wise, like the closest that you can get is Mariah Carey. Technically, if you just go in,
Are we talking like old school Mariah or like current Mariah?
Mariah's not hits as recent as 2017 ish.
Beyonce won. If it's against Mariah, Beyonce won, and I said what
Like I said,
I agree. I personally agree. I'm just saying.
Beyonce to go against her.
Yeah, it gotta be like
It
everybody.
has to be someone older than Beyonce. So
Right. Yeah.
there's no one that's around her age range that can go against her.
Yeah, nah.
To go against her as a whole or go against her
In
vocally?
general, there's nobody. And she's like what
In her
30?
category.
She's like
In her
30 something,
category.
late 30s. There is nobody
As
in
a
the
whole,
bracket right
okay.
now that is touching what touching
As a
her
whole, okay.
as a whole.
I don't think vocally a lot of people can go against her just for what she's able to do. But I'm not. This ain't a Beyonce.
Not even the two
There are
sisters
there are
that she's
no-
like
there are
grooming.
there
Not
there
even
are no
those two.
singers, but there are plenty of singers who can outsing Beyonce.
There,
Oh,
we-
Maya. Yeah,
we can
Maya
do
was
it for a
definitely
Beyonce episode because I have to break down what I mean by vocally. A lot of people can't do what she can do. It's
Yeah.
not just about how powerful the notes are; it's about how comfortable you are holding the notes.
I know
And
exactly what you mean.
Beyonce's register. She is comfortable. She's not out of breath like a lot of other singers.
Well, that's
she's-
what I was
I-
asking.
I
What about the two
understand 100%.
sisters, Hallie and Chloe and Hallie? What about the two sisters that she's literally like grooming? Like, are they at least?
They would never.
No.
Never.
Wow. Can I
Wait,
finish
don't
what
wait.
I'm saying?
They're not waiting at all.
Damn, I wasn't even going there because you were saying no one can do what she does, and I'm like, she's literally
Still learning
training.
it, though. There's a difference.
I was
Can't
You're
even
still learning
finish
it.
the sentence. Carry on.
There is nothing. It's still not the same thing because they have gorgeous voices and beautiful range, and they're amazing. But they're also mad young, and they're still learning. They're learning it.
Yeah.
That's why she signed them.
But I never got to finish my sentence. So what was my question going to be?
I don't know, but I
Right.
just know
So
that
that's what I'm saying.
whatever it is, compared to Beyonce, it's not happening. That's just what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just baseline it there, but you can go ahead.
All right, well, if that's how you feel, then never mind.
Okay.
Anita Baker versus Deborah Cox. That's an interesting.
that's disrespectful.
I think Deborah's too young for Anita,
That's
but
interesting.
Yeah.
around 90.
I would pick
Nah,
maybe
I'm over
Gladys.
Sylvan is out of pocket.
Like I pick Gladys before I pick Deborah.
Mary J and Omarion.
Omarion, AJ. That's the end of that.
You know who I would want to see though? Omarion and Marcus Houston. I just want to stir it up. I just want to stir up the pot.
Nah, yeah.
No, but I'm going to ask my original question now to Woe to actually hear an answer because he was the one that made the statement. Because you said that no one can do what she does. Do you think she would be able to successfully train these girls? Because that's what she's doing. She's training them. Do you think she would train them to be able to carry on her legacy the way that it seems like she's trying to do?
I mean, I'm just talking about like vocal ability. Like, for a lot of reasons, like even if they have the same vocal training as Beyonce, like what Beyonce can do. I think probably because of the way that her vocal cords are physically shaped, it's very hard for a lot of singers to do. There are just certain notes that she can literally continuously hit. Even Mariah, when she's hitting, her most powerful notes, she can only hold it for so long. Beyonce, I think part of the reason that she can. Sorry, I'm gonna save it for the Beyonce episode, but part of the reason why she can do what she does is because her lower register, she is just as powerful as her highest register, and she can just go through. She can run through them all damn day. It's really. So I think Chloe and Halle, maybe like as far as like what she's been able to like do with her career, they can match that one day. But yeah, vocally, I don't. It's hard to find somebody that.
Nat, take it back! Take it back, Nat!
That's fine. Now I have already established that she doesn't have the best of taste, but I'm not
Nat,
gonna shame.
when this stream is over and they come knock on your apartment door with the smoke.
Oh yeah, that's right. You down, man. Hold up.
Cause you live downstairs now, baby girl. Oh man. No, I just wanted to know, like, if it's within her own register, within her own like vocal cords, could she teach them to do it with their own register and their own vocal cord? Like, if I'm your teacher and I'm teaching you to do something I could do, wouldn't I teach you within like your own bounds? Because they are eerily close to what she can do, I imagine, like young B, right? So I'm imagining if she's going to be that B, wouldn't you want, like, your legacy is like, not only did I leave my impact with my music, but I've just, these two girls is it, like my stamp on that. So that's why I'm like, wouldn't she be able to then teach them how to do what she can do, but for them, like tailor fit it to what they can do. That's what I was trying to. And you basically was like, yeah, but for them, like they won't be able to do it her way, but they'll do it their way. But yeah, okay.
I mean, it depends because I mean, she, as far as I know, she's managing their career, but that's not to say that like they have the same vocal coach as hers. Is it possible? Sure, but I think to what Zay was saying earlier, like it's even at the age, even when she was 16, 17, like Beyonce. There were just certain vocal levels to her vocal ability that like you weren't really finding in people her age around that time, and I don't think Chloe and Halle are there yet.
Right.
I think the closest might be Whitney.
Period.
Yeah.
Lose My Breath was Destiny's Child though.
Yeah, that's not Beyonce. That's the group. Don't get it twisted.
No, I'm answering X's.
Friends.
No, I think Sylvan is.
Watch your mouth.
What up, Noah? We're talking about what made us happy today, and then it derailed into the Beyonce episode teaser, it seems.
I'm done now.
Because Sylvan out here stirring the pot. She out here springing a little chaos in the podcast. It's all right. We trying to get to the sexual health thing. But what made you happy this week? Kuchiki, you want to tell us what made you happy?
Sure. I was actually gonna say I didn't see the verses, but what I was going to say was that I was just happy that New York got to like represent for hip hop again. Because I mean, let's be honest, like New York hasn't been on its A game. Pop Smoke was trying to change that, but they killed him. It's mostly been Memphis, it's been St. Louis, it's been Atlanta for like the last decade and change. So it was nice to just see the Lox and Dipset on a stage representing for New York, and shout out to them too, because I feel like people don't understand, like, it's easy for like white singers to like have these performance characters and everything, but whenever like rappers do it, and in this case it's them like having this beef, people always want to take it to the next level, but like they left the beef on the stage. Like it's just in the music. They don't hate each other. They don't have real beef. And I'm glad that they like as the show was ending, they like took the time to actually show that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to interject because I want to let Brooklyn have its shine. But please remember, Zay, that the locks were signed to Bad Boy, which is Diddy, which is
Oh,
Harlem.
a win is a
Uh,
win. A win is a win.
a
Oh,
win
I
is a
don't,
win. You're absolutely
I
right.
don't
I'm
even
shutting
care.
up.
I don't even care. And you already know Diddy's my uncle, so it don't even matter.
That's
A win
true.
is a win.
That's true. That's
Baby.
true.
Period. Period. And you know
Facts.
what? Diddy always finds greatness, and when he finds it, okay then.
we going
Absolutely,
back
you're
there.
right.
That's what we doing.
You're right.
Okay. You know what? Jax, did you share what made you happy this week? I just no, she did not.
You be
Yes,
trying to get away.
Sylvan.
You trying to be sneaky and shit.
listen.
Sylvan is what up, Florence? We miss you, BB.
Then
Sylvan
Sylvan is
is
trying to start some
BTS,
shit.
wanna be
BTS.
starting something. You wanna be starting.
Nah.
She's trying to get the page in trouble.
Oh, I'm done. I can't. um,
What made you happy?
oh
what
my
made you
god,
happy, Zay? Zay, Jax.
my brunch on Saturday. That made me
It
happy.
really did.
That was it. That
What
is
you had
all.
for brunch?
I had steak and eggs with some home fries and like 7 glasses of mimosas.
That was lit.
Okay, alcoholic.
Nah, I wasn't lit.
Them.
That's the crazy part.
Did you make it home alive,
Yeah, I
sir?
was perfectly
Are
fine.
you there, sir?
It's a whole lot of money.
Were you able to walk straight? Was you good? Food
Yeah,
does make people happy. Like
I was leading the
seafood
way.
boils make me happy instantly. I could be in the worst of mood, but you put a Louisiana seafood boil in front of me, instant happiness. Absolutely right, Spider Cat. Right, Suvin. 7 glasses. She said seven. Seven. And then went
7.
home after that. Fine. I don't know how, but fine.
I mean,
I
champagne
guess.
wasn't the smoothest.
Right.
Was it nasty?
It wasn't
No,
nasty at all, or else we wouldn't have had 5 of
I didn't taste it,
them.
but it was good.
But it wasn't the smoothest.
Oh no,
Well,
she said seven. So
I think I
there's
well,
already
that.
I
ate
had 5.
it, but
She was
yeah,
on something
Wait,
else.
you had five?
I had five
Yes.
too.
What kind of alcoholics? Who were my friends
it
and
was
family
mostly
member
all.
with? I stop at one. I am a light taster and I am done. Thank you. That is enough for me. No, I'm kidding. There's a whole ass bar in my house, and I'll be waiting for my sister to come over so she can make me drinks so I could go night night.
I like how she whispers when she gets to the part about me in hopes that I don't hear her.
Yeah. I love the dead stare. Like, really? You're not low. But what's that? What's that? Yeah, catch it. The thing that made me happy this week is I got to celebrate my birthday with my friends, my family, you guys. Everybody loved on me thickly, and it was great. I planned on being a pancake for my birthday, but my friend flew in from Cali. She took me out to get a seafood boil, so that was awesome. And then my sister did not tell me where we was going, but we ended up going out to dinner. So I got to spend it with your lovely hosts that you see here, my friends and family. And we had some fancy ass Italian, yo, them breadsticks, baby. That fucking wine, yo, everything.
Sexual? The
Bro,
clams
not the
though? I mean the muscles though? Sexual.
That
It's the
fucking
right
dinner
episode to
was
talk about that.
that dinner
it was
was
legit.
exotic. It was, and then it was just everything was just so good. Um, and then of course Zay had to like advocate for me when I was like, no, I'm gonna eat this thing here, even though like my taste buds are like, no. She was like, no, it's your birthday. You're gonna
Oh, yeah.
enjoy your dinner, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna power through. She's like, no, she does not want this. She's gonna get a menu. She's gonna find something, and like everybody like shoved their plates at me so I could taste test and find the thing that I wanted. It was so much love. Um, I don't even know where did we go, Calba.
We went to Aunt Jake's in Little Italy.
Oh yeah.
133 Mulberry Street.
And then, of course, I got red for filth because I was salivating over the Olive Garden salad while at an authentic Italian restaurant. But I just wanted the salad for the peppers. Kuchiki understands. Them fucking peppers in that Olive Garden salad. Ugh.
That
I
Olive
just
Garden
want to
salad.
say, just a year and some change ago, this girl would not have been so excited to have some damn peppers.
I blame Calba because I feel like
I
Calba
take that.
has
I take that to the
she
chest.
has slowly but
Chest.
surely been adding spicier things to my food.
You goddamn right.
And now I'm eating whole ass peppers.
No
Suvin is like Aunt
apology
Jake.
at all.
Aimless.
No
Yeah.
apology.
She's been now me and Kuchiki
my
are over
girl
here
could not
bodying whole
eat
ass peppers from Olive Garden salads, and
She
that's
could
all I'm
not
here
eat
for.
bonchon. So I don't know where this.
First off, I had bonchon for lunch last week, and I sure enough
What I'm saying is, when I first brought her bonchon, she was like, "Nah, I can't eat this. How you can't eat the chicken?
because it was spicy.
It wasn't spicy."
Calba hadn't conditioned me yet. She worked on that conditioning. She freaking Pavlov dogged me. I don't understand. She over here doing her like gang gang, like holding up the fucking red hots. Now I can't eat anything without. If it's not spicy, why is it even in front of me? It needs to be spicy. I don't understand what happened. I used to have
Now
like,
she has to have spicy chicken, spicy ramen. I'm
yeah.
in here.
Yeah, essentially, I need all the spice. All the spice. Speaking of spice, y'all know what time it is. It's time to transition. Let's talk about sex, baby. No, let's talk about sexual health.
And me,
Let's talk about sex health,
my
sex
back,
education.
my back. No, I'm kidding.
¿Qué? ¿Cómo? Butthole on fire.
Yo, why?
Cloacia on fire.
Y'all just put a bunch of names of like potential songs about sex. Just put the title of the song in there.
You know, I think there's like an endless list of songs about sex. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on a Discovery Channel. I think that is the most educational one that I could think of about the sex. My initial question that I'm gonna pose to the group, to the viewers, to all y'all them slowly puts on Robin Big Sex Therapy. Yeah. How do you slowly put it on? You just started on decibel 1. Slide it up. What is the age that sex ed should actually be taught? Like, how young is too young where you shouldn't know? Like, when should you start? Like, what is the age that should begin?
Natalie is a parent. I forget.
Okay, so Zay says 21 Savage. Are you saying 12? See, it's flipped for me, so that looks like 21. Okay, so I'm seeing 7th grade. Okay, the parent says 7th grade. Suvin says 6th grade. 16. Aimless says 9 years old? Interesting. You know what's interesting about that? I do know more than one male. I don't think I know any females. I do know more than one male that have told me that they lost their virginity at like 8. Not the right way. If y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. But that's why I'm like, at what point do we at least start like dropping hints of like, hey, don't let somebody do this thing. Like, because as an educator who often has, it's my responsibility to lead these advisory classes where I'm supposed to like, you know, maybe watch a video with y'all, maybe give y'all a pamphlet, and then maybe awkwardly answer some questions. And just thankfully, I used to work for Planned Parenthood, so thankfully, I do kind of have some information that I already know. And thankfully, my father has worked in the healthcare field his entire life. So he used to terrify me with the, what the fuck is that book called? The medical pathology text. So thankfully, I was already traumatized, so I don't have to traumatize you. But like, I happen to have that background. But like, what if I didn't? Like, I teach the youngest at our school is sixth grade, and even as early as sixth grade, kids are looking at stuff and asking questions. So like, Nat, you're saying 12. Is it supposed to be assumed that kids are just supposed to be clueless and Google it before then? Like, what are our thoughts on that?
Robin Bird.
Well, I am
Yo,
not.
Jax.
I am not a parent. I'm not a teacher, so I can't really comment on it. But my only thought is that maybe not in the moment, but in hindsight, when I look back into my past, there were a lot of situations that some kind of like age appropriate sexual education would have been nice to know, well before teenage years even happened. So there's definitely a need possibly to teach kids as soon as they talk, because the world doesn't stop just because they haven't learned to talk yet, or just because they haven't reached teenage yet. You know, it's not like, oh, I turned 13, now the world goes to shit. Unfortunately, we live in a world that is shit 100% of the time. So, as soon, personally, as soon as you can. But I'm also not a parent nor a teacher.
Okay, so Nat, the parent, is saying sixth grade is a good time. Girls start getting their period. Boys are starting puberty. Amos said, "Get them before Pornhub does." Yo, Amos, that does not bode well with Jax's bird comment. I
Hey,
hate it.
listen, learn how you learn. But no, I say eighth grade, at least in the school setting, eighth grade, and before that, whenever. I mean, I knew the basics. Boys get girls pregnant. Don't do that. That's like
We did don't do
that was like the basics I knew until like I learned more, but I knew that if well, it wasn't 100%, but if sperm gets in you, you could get pregnant. And I was
Ooh.
like, hey, avoid that.
Do you
right. Like
remember how
where?
old you were when you were?
Maybe
Okay.
eight, nine. I was in fourth grade, so eight, eight.
See, I remember getting my dad liked. He basically should have gotten paid for Fear Factor because that's how I was. He operated on my fears, so that is how I was taught. All my questions were always like y'all see. Anytime I have a question, it's often like I'm curious. I genuinely want to understand. So it wasn't like I want to experiment. I want to explore and see what's gonna happen. I was just like, I'm hearing things and I want to know what's the truth of what the people around me are saying. And then, of course, it was like, you got a hole like this, and then and I was like, oh my god! And so for me, I was like terrified. But that was my father's doing when I was like, school never had a chance to educate me because my father was like, I'm gonna scare the shit out of my child and make sure she never even she thinks boys are the devil. Like she's never gonna want a boy because she's gonna know that boys are dangerous. I'm gonna show her every STD in its pathology, and she's never gonna want to touch a boy because she's gonna think they all have everything. But that was what my father. That's how he thought. As soon as I was like old enough to comprehend the words he was saying, there's all the STDs you could get. As soon as you touch a boy, you're gonna get pregnant. Don't touch boys, and that's the extent of my sex ed from my parent. And then by the time I got to school and they were trying to teach me stuff, it was just like, nah, I know about half the things that you're going to tell me about anyway. So I would tune out. But I got it way before school even tried because my dad was just like, my
Damn.
girl's adorable and boys are gross. No. That's why I'm like, when should we start? 'Cause
The sex talk is probably like the one thing my mother did right. It's like she did a little too right actually, but I feel like because I didn't know, like I don't know, because again with disability comes like a level of like being seen as a eunuch, but my mother did her very damnedest. She was like, "Listen, honey, you're pretty, so it's gonna happen for you. So just know that these things." And so, it kind of happened by accident because I was like in school and like in the computer room back when you had to go into rooms to do internet stuff. And this boy like put his hand on my thigh, and I was like, "Oh!" Like, and I got mad, and I went home and I told my mother. She was like, "Okay, let's talk." And then she sat me down and was like, think her biggest thing was to scare me because she knew I wasn't dumb. I've never been dumb. So it wasn't like I'm gonna freak you out so you avoid this. It was more like I think I don't know, I guess because it was me and because of all the things I was dealing with, her main focus was like make sure whatever happens to you, your body wants it. Like she explains to me like your body will tell you what you're into before you actually do it and listen to that. Like, don't let anybody pressure you into anything. Like, if you find a boy, like she told me, like the importance of the warm tinglies or whatever. Basically, like that's your radar to let you know that you're into something. Essentially, so like if somebody touches you and you get excited or whatever, that means your body is willing to interact with them in that way. But if somebody's doing something to you and you're like, there's no lubrication happening. You sitting there like, woo, then this is not for you. So I feel like that was her biggest piece, I guess, was my comfort. Like you're gonna do what you want to do when you're ready to do it, but just make sure that when you do it, you're comfortable, you trust who's touching you, and that you're being safe. So she was very big on protection and like listening to your body and like don't think you owe anybody anything if they do something for you. Like she was very big on that aspect. She was never trying to like talk me out of having sex, which I appreciate, I think, because I'm like, I know some people where it's like in their adulthood, they're still very weird about sex because they were very sheltered or like, got traumatized. There's some weird traumatization with the way they came to be with sex. So I'm grateful that that's the one thing in my life that I am not traumatized about. I'm very in tune with myself in that way. So, and I owe that to my mother. So, yeah. And that conversation, when that boy touched my leg, I was like 8. So, yeah.
As I said, boys be like, you in or not? Kuchiki.
Yeah, I think that conversation has to happen at a pretty early age. I remember the first actual like sex education class that we had was in health class. I want to say that was in like 7th grade. But like I'll say this for me personally, like growing up in New York, a fast city like New York, and then growing up in the projects, I think I was exposed to sex maybe like around the age of 4 or 5. Not saying it was the right lessons, but you're definitely getting some sort of lesson if you grow up in a fast town. I wish for me like it could have been personally. I wish I would have had the education before my sexual abuse, because then I would have been aware that I was even being sexually abused. Um, but I wasn't. But because of that, like, to echo what everybody's saying, you know, whether or not you're ready to talk to your child, they're going to get some sort of education on sex and sexuality in some way, because that's just the way that the world is. So I personally think that it definitely needs to start well before they teach it in school, which is, I guess, middle school. I think it needs to start before puberty, personally.
Yeah. Like I watched my sister-in-law, like she's pointing out. So my niece is 3 and she at least points out the body parts to my niece, but I don't know like are you explaining like don't let someone touch that, like tell me like how, and I wonder does that sexualize the body part? I don't, cuz I don't want that. Like I want my niece to be like a kid, but I also want her to feel comfortable being like, hey, this person did a thing to me. Mommy, daddy, go do something. You know what I mean? Because I feel like there are too many instances where there's like shame attached to that, where like something happens and you're so scared that you don't say anything. And I don't want that to continue. Like, I want it to be where, like, nope, you did something wrong. You're supposed to get in trouble. I'm gonna go tell. Because that's how they pick the victim. They find the person that's gonna be so ashamed that someone touched them that they're not gonna say anything. And I don't know if identifying it in that way for her is gonna make her, like, I don't, because she's still trying to figure out English and Spanish in her head. So like, I don't want to confuse the girl, but like, I also want to like arm her with the information that she needs to be like, my no spot, don't touch it. You know what I mean? Like, but the school, I don't think the daycare is not going to do that. And I don't want some fresh little boy in daycare touching her. You know what I mean? Like, because kids are also explorative at this age. So like, when she touches herself, like, I don't want her to feel shame. Like, it's a weird. I'm also not a parent, so it's really weird.
Well, I think it's interesting, not to cut you off, but I think a lot of that shame comes from how they might see people reacting to the topic. As long as you're teaching your child, okay, no one touches there in a way where it doesn't seem like the touch is out of the norm of just a regular touch, like this cannot happen to down there, and not necessarily have a look of, oh, I'm talking about sex. I think a lot of times that shame is because we live in a society where people talk about sex as shameful, and because we don't know the difference between the assault and the sex, they're taking on the kind of embarrassment that we have about talking about sex. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because then it's also like the victim blaming. Like, when something happens, oh, well, what
Right.
was she wearing? And it's like,
Like
clothes,
there would
fam. Like,
be,
fuck.
people would
Like,
be ashamed to report it if we weren't living in a society that values sex and the ability to have sex with women who don't have power in that sexual encounter.
yeah. And I wonder, like, how different is the talk? Because I know when we have to do it at school, we have like one co-ed one where it's just like the basics. And then we split them up by gender. And then I'm like, is that helpful? And I know that when we do it, they're like, oh, because boys might not be comfortable asking certain questions in front of like the girls. But then I'm also like, are they even gonna be comfortable asking questions in general? Because like, at the end of the day, we're still their teachers. Like, they still don't want to be judged. They still don't necessarily want to ask certain questions. So I'm sure there's certain questions they actually want to ask, but they're nervous to ask it. So, and even when we're like, write it on a piece of paper and don't put your name on it, like, they know we know their handwriting. So are you really doing it? How do we properly help them? You know what I mean? Like, how do we actually arm them? Like, it just so happened that this particular year was a pretty good year for my personal advisory, where my advisory was comfortable texting me after we had our sessions with our trainer. um they would be like, all right, so let me ask you a question real quick, and they would just ask me in text. But in person, it's not like that. So how do I make sure I'm actually answering all your questions so that you're not walking around with misinformation? Because I have seen some of the things these kids think, and I'm like, Lord help us if y'all think that's how STDs work, because it's not. Um,
Some adults too. Shit.
like, yo, so it's story time, y'all. Every year we go on this trip with the school. It's called Fall Foliage. Not everybody gets to go because not everybody wants to go. But for the kids that do want to go, they come. All grades are invited for the most part. Because sometimes they'll do it like sixth grade gets their own, seventh grade gets their own. But like, for the most part, they try to make it where all grades can like mingle and see each other. Um, so on this particular trip, this particular year, I'm on a hayride chaperoning some high schoolers because they want to take a last minute hayride before we get on the bus back to our school. And I'm listening to two girls talk to each other. I'm trying to mind my business, but I have ears. They're on my head. They're attached. I can't help it. And I'm listening to one girl. Girl A tells girl B, it's all right, girl. If you burning and he burning, they cancel each other out. That's baby, no. Baby, STDs are not mathematics. It's not gonna cancel each other out. You just go.
That's wild.
It's not like one burns the other away. That's not how that works. Now she wasn't my advisee, so I don't know who was with her in her advisory, going over her sex talk, doing her sex lessons, her sex health lesson. I don't know what the, but she legit, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm just trying to be like, she was like, no, 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 no. Like if you have something and he has something and y'all do it, just don't use protection this time because it'll burn the things away and then y'all'll be good. Y'all'll clean each other out. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Absolutely not. That is not how that works. That just makes it absolutely the fuck worse. Please don't do that. Please, you both go to doctors. Please, you don't do that. Please. Oh, God, no. But then it's also awkward for them because it's like, I'm not your teacher. I don't teach any of your classes. So now you got this strange, like, teacher telling you, like, stop, don't. Don't do that.
I think
And I'm just like, oh my God. I just want to help the kids. I just want to make sure we're not spreading things. Fam said, I don't want a chicken breast. I hate her. I'm just like, I'm at a loss. Like, what? Everybody is having a faux pas right now. Yes. Yeah. But now, we don't want chicken breast either, if that's helpful. Like, I'll take some chicken nuggets if you're ordering for people. I mean, they're right upstairs from you. So if you're cooking and chefing it up, make enough. Go ahead, Kalba.
I think when it comes to situations about whether or not teachers can interject, I feel like it's a matter of there's a difference between okay, the information they think they know and the information that's out there. It's like okay, there's no harm. It just might be like a little inaccurate. Fine. And then there's like no, you're so off base. It could put your life in danger. That conversation, they were so off base it could put their life in danger. Because if she thinks she can cancel out, what if the next person you interact with has, HIV? Like it could go from chlamydia to HIV real quick with that kind of logic. You know what I mean? Um, but if it's like okay, like I was working for AmeriCorps and we had like the kids that we were working with during the summer, and there was one day a week that they could go to the swimming pool. A girl came up to me; she couldn't go to the swimming pool because she was on her period. And I was like, well, you could use a tampon. And she said her mother is like, no, she can't use a tampon because then she wouldn't be a virgin anymore because the tampon would break the hymen. Now, in that scenario, I'm like, I'm not going to say nothing. One, because it's not my business, but also two, she uses pads. So if she goes her whole life never using a tampon, even though it's not the case as her mother explained it, she's also not putting herself in danger. She just sticks to pads. So I don't feel the need in that instance to like be like, well, technically that's it. She's not doing anything that's gonna harm her or anybody else. Go forth and prosper. I'm not gonna get involved. But like that scenario, you have to. If you're talking about the basic oath of any teacher, you have to, because literally these kids will go out there and spread that information to other children. It'll spread faster than coronavirus. Absolutely not. Mm-mm. No.
Let me ask, Jax, would you have interjected in that scenario? I feel like she getting mad close to be like,
The
no,
tampons chick or the scenario you was in?
the one I was in, cause you know them
Oh
girls.
yeah, I would have been like, no, it don't work like that. You're gonna break your shits.
Break the thing.
I break your shit. Okay.
No, I would have been like,
Because
I don't
there's
know
some
what
things
you.
that I'll be like, no, you can't. And Jax be like, so that's why I got sometimes maybe I'm like over, maybe I'm too
Because
teachy. I
that was
don't
a learning
know.
situation. That was the time to be like, I may not be your main teacher, but if you have something wrong with you, you should see a doctor. Wait until after you get treated, and then da da da. Like that cancel out factor does not work with STDs.
I mean,
Can I ask
it does
at
now,
y'all
but
school? Can I ask at y'all school? Do y'all have like a semester long curriculum? Do y'all bring in like specialists? Like, what's the breakdown of actually teaching sex ed at your middle school or like in a average middle school this in
so
this day and age?
yeah, so I can't speak for the average middle school because we are not that. We are a separate type of school. But in our school, yes, we have a specific curriculum, and we oftentimes work with a different program that'll send. Um, they're not high school students; they are college kids, um, to do the presentations on these health facts to work with the kids because the idea is that you're still fairly close enough in age so that the kids will identify with you a little bit better, and hopefully they'll be more comfortable asking you questions if they're not comfortable with us um, asking questions, and you'll be able to deliver the information. Like you'll remember what it was like to be 14 and uncomfortable trying to talk about sex, so you'll be able to present the information in a way that is palatable. But the person that we had this previous year was couldn't pronounce vaginal, and so I was just like, yeah, she kept saying vaginal, so I kept correcting her and she kept saying vaginal anyway, and mispronouncing other things, um and so and like appreciate you for the biddies. And some of the other facts that she was saying felt like slightly, oh, like one of the facts that she was like, half of the people in America have herpes. And I was like, not quite the right numbers. Also, you need to make the distinction between herpes complex 1 and 2. 1, not an STD, 2 is. You need to explain that if you have an outbreak from 1 and
Explícame.
like you gotta like you explain this information to the kid because like now you just have the kids thinking everybody got herpes. Like you're not explain like you read the room like we're on Zoom, baby. You're just freaking out a bunch of 14-year-olds. Like you're just scaring children. So this year was a little. So then I had to do like a lot of like at the end where the kids were like, so half the country has like herp, and I'm like, okay, so like 67% of the yes, cold sores, that's what it is. But like if you have chicken pox, that is also from the herpes. So I'm like now trying to like clean up and explain all the things because it wasn't explained right. But I think part of it was that she didn't really know what she was just reading off a presentation. So that is that's what we get when we work with we get whoever they send us, unfortunately. And it's just either we gotta know the answer better or vaya con Dios.
You know
And
what I
just so
think is? Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No.
What I think is funny is that we're talking about sex education, which is essentially the goal is to educate us on, at least in our age, how not to get like certain diseases, which is nothing sexual or religious or any kind of hot button topic, just how not to get diseases. Or how to be preventing of certain diseases and why you want to wear that protection. But parents, I feel like their fear stems more from like, I guess, this undertone of thinking if you do sex education, then you're going to talk about sex and maybe it's going to make the kids horny and then they're going to want to have sex. And I'm just like,
So
But you know what we do with sex education classes? I promise you, no one is particularly horny after watching several pictures of what a diseased piece of body looks like.
but my
Like, no
thing
one's
is,
sitting there like,
that's the
that's
problem.
sexy. Let me go to Pornhub after this.
That's the problem.
I think the disease thing is definitely valid, but it's also like just in terms of like pregnancy, um, that's a big part of sex education, and I feel like I don't know, it's not taught enough, and I think part of parents' fears, to be honest, is just that they don't want no damn grandkids um, that early on. And to your point, Calba, I can't speak for women, but I can definitely tell you, men, um, when you're a 14-year-old boy, it doesn't matter how many videos you watch, you don't have control over your sex organ. And I'm putting it as nice as possible. The wind blows and you're ready to go. It's one o'clock in the afternoon. You're ready to go. It's 1:35 in the afternoon. You're ready, like you lit like it's insane the way that hormones rage in teenage boys.
But that's what
Um,
I was saying, because she was like, "Oh, parents are afraid of their kids getting horny," but it's like, that's natural, right? Like that's something that's gonna happen regardless. It's what happens after a kid gets horny that's the most important. Are you gonna shame them for feeling the way they feel? Like, no. Virgins are some of the most horniest people to ever exist. So I don't know, like, people have to take the taboo off that. Not everything has to be so gross. Like, sometimes shit just happens. And when you feel that way, if you don't understand it, you should be able to go somewhere and be like, I'm feeling these things. What do I do about it? Because if they can do that, then you can teach them things like safe masturbation and, like, make sure your nails are clean, and things like that. Like, take care of yourself, learn your body. That way, when you actually have sex with another person, it's not like, oh, we're just fumbling organs around. Like, don't make a kid feel bad for its body acting the way that it should. That's why I'm like, I feel like when people say, oh, kids shouldn't be getting horny, or that girl's fast, or that boy's too, like, you feel what you feel. You feel what you feel. It doesn't. You can't. What you gonna do? No. Like, I refuse to feel this right now. Like, you can't really stop that. So I feel like there should be a more open dialogue about what even being stimulated means, and where all that blood is going when you're feeling those feelings, and what you can do about that in a safe way. I don't know. I just feel like everything. I feel like adults like keeping things dirty because adults are dirty. Like, that's the reality. Adults are filthy human beings. So when kids are feeling normal things, it's like, oh, I know what I do when I feel those things. So I'm about to project the fuck out of that onto my kid. Like, no, your kid is not like giving head in the club. Like, your kid is in the house looking at their favorite, person on TV filling the tea leaves. You know what I mean? Like, it's more innocent than that. You know what I mean? It's not like as filthy as everybody's making it. That's why I'm like, I feel like if there's a proper dialogue, so where, like, before even another person is involved, like, kids need to know it's okay to have sex with yourself. It's okay, like, these things are okay. Because once you do that, that's why people be like, most virgins are like, I didn't know what to do, or I don't know what happened. Because you don't know your body before you decide to give it to another human. And I don't think that is like the craziest thing to me. Like, having sex with somebody, but you can't, like, look at your vagina without giggling. Like, that's, bro, come on now. Like, but you're willing to let somebody put their body inside of it? That doesn't make sense. And I feel like adults are the reason why kids do that, because they cannot go and talk to them. A lot of adults are like, I don't want to hear you talk about sex. Don't even bring you sex. Oh, well, you want to know what I want you to know about sex? Disease. Like, that's not going to do anything.
See, CZ, but like you said, if it's a natural thing, I think whether or not adults interfere, like kids are gonna be curious about having sex anyway. And don't get me wrong, like masturbation is great. I think if there's one thing that kids need to be taught about and need to understand that there should be no shame in, it's definitely masturbation.
Right.
But it's like, let's be on the real, like kids are gonna masturbate and they're also gonna want to have sex, or they're gonna
Definitely. Like, I feel
masturbate
like
in addition to sex.
if there's a clean transition between what it means to take care of yourself and what it means to respect another person's body, it won't be as
Mhm.
taboo. You know what I'm saying? That's my to my point.
And yeah, no, I definitely get that. It's just I think because we're not dealing with it's hard, and that's why like I can't even. I'm not gonna lie, I can't even be upset at these parents that do the things that they do out of fear, because it's like you're not really dealing with a person who technically has a fully functioning brain. You know what I mean? They're gonna hear the parts that they want to hear, and hopefully, if you're lucky, and like parents, please speak up in the chats because y'all know more about this than we do. But like, they're gonna hear the parts that they want to hear and decide whether or not they actually want to like take that information and run with it. You know, like the good no, I don't even mean good. I mean some kids do. Some kids actually, like using yourself as an example, like some kids actually do have those talks with their parents, and are like, you know what, I'm gonna wait because I don't want just any random gross, guy or a girl or whatever like just invading me like that. But then there are other ones where it's like, I heard what you had to say, but I'm still horny. And there's mad hot people at school and I want to have sex. And that's all that's on my brain, So I don't know. All that to say, I don't know what I would do as the parent of a child, to be honest. Just being honest. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
like I
might post it on
distinctly.
the show. But he was
No,
joking.
can continue. What were you saying?
No, I'm saying I might do. I could totally easily picture myself doing what your dad did and just being like, I don't trust any of the parties involved. I don't trust that um, anybody around my child is not going to try and want to do something to them. So let me put the fear of God into my child. I'm just being honest. As liberal as I want to be.
No, I completely understand. I mean, like it was helpful because like I learned like like my science brain was like, oh, okay, so this is how things are, and like still to this day, I'm like, all right, clematis phase, it's out there. It's like a hybrid thing that's just lying dormant, waiting to kill me. It also made me like hyper vigilant. So like I'm always like, I go to every appointment. I always get checked. Like I'm like extremely like that is why I'm like I'm extremely safe about all the things, but it is also why I'm like, I don't know. As an educator, I'm like, I don't want to overstep and I don't want to make the mistake of trying to parent a kid when that's not my job. My job is not to be the child's parent. So I'm going to do my job. I'm going to teach. I'm going to educate. These are the facts. What you decide to do. So when kids are like, I'm thinking about, no, I can't tell you what you should do. I can only tell you the facts. Fact, if you have unprotected sex, it could lead to pregnancy. That is a fact. Those are the Snapple facts. Like that's, should you do that is not my role. That is your parents' role. But to wait for your child to get to school to have a proper education about these facts, I don't think is appropriate. I'm also not a parent, so I don't know if I ever had a kid would I feel differently. I don't know when I would start having these conversations about body parts and who can touch what where. Like I don't know. Again, not a parent. So I can say all that I want in my head. I have a niece. I have two nieces. So I know how I would be like, nobody but your parents and your tia and your tío can change you. And that's it. That's the only touching that's going there with changing you. And like, that's as far as, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm not their parent. So even that feels like an overstep. You know what I mean? So it's just, I've always been curious. So like when parents are like, I don't want my kid learning about sex. Do you want your kid to have a kid? Because if your kid doesn't fully understand how things work, don't your kids are gonna experiment. You especially now, these kids are not like us. They have way more access than we had. So what we don't say, they're just gonna go look up and they're gonna try to guess from the things they are seeing in these videos. Because it's not like they're gonna read it when they could just watch it. And that PH website is a little different from the actual factuals. That's not how things actually work in practicality. And seldom do you see a condom in those videos. So when they go to attempt what they see, are they going to use a condom? And even when we do have the conversation of like sex health, do we do we only cover STDs? Is that all we tell them? All right, I really need to be in Zajak's conversation because it looks a lit as hell in that square.
You said what?
I
No,
think there should be adult
um,
sex
we were
education.
just talking about the
Our versions when we was in high school.
Like what? Like I know the access is different, but it's still they're gonna get the information somewhere somehow. So it's like what do we even say? Do we only ever cover STDs? Because that's not all they're curious about. So what do we
I
actually
mean,
say?
I don't know.
He said
'Cause
nudie mags. MG, not the nudie mags. I said pedos. I'm done.
I think there's some adults who could use sex education class.
right
Yeah.
about pull out method. I'll pull out my fist and
Like,
smack
first of all,
My fist.
sound
they
dumb as
went extra. I was going to start off soft, like, this whole idea that down there is supposed to smell
Wait,
like
Playboy had
flowers or
articles?
botanical gardens.
right.
It's
Like
not.
what?
That's
No.
Time out.
unhealthy.
Playboy had actual articles, and you actually picked up a Playboy to read the articles. What were these articles about?
Bruh.
porn stars live.
Yeah, they was talking about their lives.
They have lives, you know.
Shout out to
I've never read them. I never touched a Playboy. I wouldn't know. I got questions.
to the guys with the holding
Playboy
down.
had comments? Bro.
Yeah.
What? They
Yeah.
had
I gotta see
comics
a Playboy
too?
comment. I gotta see
Now
a
I gotta
Playboy
go
comment.
pick one up. I gotta go see what this comic is about. What's in here? This seems like the. I thought it was just
I
a
bet you
skin
it's just anime.
magazine.
I bet you
Yeah,
it's
but
just
yeah.
anime.
To what Maddie said too. Like I don't know. I don't even know where that shit came from. As a, connoisseur of the vaginal area, there is no such thing as the botanical gardens between your legs. Like, bro, come on.
Yeah.
First of all, if you
Like,
got like the botanical gardens between your legs, you should go to the hospital. Like, there is no, that is not natural. Like, something is up, fam. Like,
but
you're,
the fact is that there's a whole industry that benefits financially
yeah,
from this. How many like body bath works promote? Oh, you do this thing down here and have your body smelling like. And I'm just like, so we still paying
Summer's
people
Eve.
money
Yup,
to
Summer's
get
Eve. I was
like
about to say, they
reconstruction?
wildin'. Summer's Eve with them damn douches. First of all, shouldn't even, anyway, I even, mm. Ooh, ooh.
Go off, sis.
No,
I just don't
it
like
should
Now
all,
smell
the
like
girl said I
sweat.
got a box of them.
I just
Please
don't like
educate,
the
because
thing that,
No, educate. That's what we here for. To
yes,
educate
please.
them yeses.
yeah,
You should not
yeah.
do what, Zay?
You should not douche. Like your lady bits. You do what you gotta do, but you don't. Yeah, do not put other things that wasn't born with your body into your body if you don't have to. That's just the only point. Just
It is a self-cleaning organism.
yes,
Facts.
it just like does it itself, and then you assist it like around and all that. You make sure the parts that your body can't do itself. You do those, but
Yep.
the douching, no, you might as well say, I want to ruin my pH today. Like, don't do not do not. And then
Yo.
I'm not a male, but I just wanted to say this. Listen, if y'all are circumcised or not circumcised, please wash the crevices and the areas, okay? Because y'all want people to touch on that. So what's up? Like, get it together. Keep it tight,
Said,
people. Like,
what's up?
I just, because it's grown men out here.
I can add to that as one with that appendage. Like uh, we gotta teach, or parents and teachers just have to educate young men once they hit puberty about thoroughly washing down there. Just running water on your twig and berries is not gonna get the job done. Like you have to thoroughly wash, especially once you start getting hair.
Okay, the
Um,
Oh
penis
God,
doesn't do
yes.
what the vagina does.
And
Not something.
manscaping is not a gay thing.
Please.
Please stop being like this gay. It's
Oh my
please
god.
stop that.
Please, Manscaped.
Please,
But see,
man.
this is what happens when you have a society that only sexualizes women. Because eyes are always on us and our bodies, we inadvertently are more likely to be taught how to stay clean because it's more important to our personality. Whereas guys are allowed to, or even embraced and encouraged to be as dirty and as grungy as possible. And that translates to their hygiene.
Woo.
Right? It all translates.
Mm. What? Mm-mm.
Like it's just
don't get me wrong. There's a market there for like when you're older, and if that's what you're into, like no offense to anybody, that's perfectly fine. But like for the teenage boys out there, like hygiene is important. It's definitely important. You have to wash yourself thoroughly. It's not a game.
heavy
It's
on the thoroughly.
Hard thoroughly, right. What? Mm-mm.
Like it's
Okay,
not a
also
game.
while we're here, I just wanna okay. Let me tell you. So while we're here, I just would like to say, can we please stop with the type shit? Please, can we cut it out? There is
The what?
nothing y'all penis can do to mess up our vaginas. I just want to say this one more time. There is nothing y'all penis can do to mess up our vaginas. If a girl is tight, if you're dealing with a woman and she's tight, it's because she's not fully comfortable yet. Because I'll tell you what, once a woman is fully comfortable, it's a slippery ride around here. Okay, so I don't know what y'all talking about some tight and all. That is not it. That doesn't mean that her vagina is good or bad. You know what good vagina is? Healthy vagina. You know what good penis is? Healthy penis. And that's it. There is no, yeah, I wrecked her. Or this. No, you didn't. If I can explain like this and a baby to come out, there is nothing your penis can do to wreck what I got going on here. So let's just stop, okay? Let's just stop. All together now, everyone in a group. Let's stop with the tight shit. Let's stop with the yeah, I could do this or you feel it in your stomach. I don't. I don't feel anything in my stomach.
Right.
No, it don't go. No,
Not
no,
in the
it don't work.
esophagus.
No esophagus. No. Okay, so just calm down. Like, and then so with that same theory, it's like if now let me ask y'all this because this is something that I've noticed. If a woman has a lot of sexual partners she's ran through, but if she has a lot of sex with the same partner she's not, it's the same scenario. Y'all just like saying that women are
She
hoes.
is
So just
vexed.
say, so just say y'all
Talk
hate
to
women
him.
and go. That's it. Just say that I hate women and go. Because I can have sex with 30,000 men and have one man and have sex with him 30,000 times, and it's the same result. So let's stop, okay? Like it's not. That's not how this works, okay, love? That's it. Thanks for coming to my TikTok.
And we're gonna wrap it up right there. Yo, I love it when they go off. Cause she get mad animated. The hair flip, the hands come out, everything. I love it. But all facts were spoken. Wait, what asterisk?
oh, is that not the right word?
No, I'm just saying. I just don't see I got distracted like a cat with a laser beam. I'm sorry. Yes, that's an asterisk. I just don't see it.
Nat
Yeah, I'm
asked,
trying to say what.
did you guys see? And then it's a bunch of asterisks on Netflix. So I don't know what she's asking.
Oh, Cruel Summer.
Wait, why did it
uh,
block that out?
Listen, she's talking about the show on Netflix called Sex Dash Life, and I just want to say, Sarah
Oh no.
Shahidi,
okay.
Sarah Shahidi. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say about that. She is like
No,
literally,
I didn't see that. But
gosh,
also, I don't see it blacked out. I don't. Is it blacked out for y'all?
10-15, amazing. Yes, it was. Yes.
Oh, I was talking about the scene in Sex and
Oh
Life.
yeah, that
My favorite
too.
social show.
Jay is talking about the show. I know what you're talking about.
Yes, yes, honey. No, but no, really though. Ooh,
Talk about the scene in
yes, yes.
Sex and
Mind you,
Life.
the tea really is. But I mean, we'll do that another episode. But I just
Tea.
want to drop this. We'll drop this nugget here. The
Nugget
tea really
drop.
is her husband, who is Steve Howie, who was
The shower scene, that the
Oh.
yeah,
shower scene.
her husband who is Steve Howie. They're divorced now, and she's dating um Mr. Shower Scene now in real life in real time, and we all know why if we watch that show. So that's all we just gonna leave that there like that and wrap that there. Yeah.
Wait, from what show is this?
Sex Life.
Sex Life,
Yes,
yes, the
the
gym.
gym.
Yep, that's the one.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
All
And
right,
so
y'all
she
giving me things to watch for my 1 week of
so
vacation from
now
work.
Sarah Shahidi is dating him. I think his name in real life is like Adam Demos or something like that. But yeah, he's a very blessed young man, and it's a beautiful thing. And I just
Are there any other like sex myths that need to be like debunked, or any other things that we feel the people need to know? Fam said bless. That's where I'm at. It's the blessings.
oh,
Blessings
pull out
podcast.
game
Is strong.
is not that your pull
Oh,
out game is not strong. No, it's not.
men's prostate is a pleasure center. So ass play is not just for gay.
Exactly. Yep, that's the one. It's okay
Factual,
if you're not.
factual.
It's okay if you're not comfortable, but don't be like if you are. Nobody's gay if they want that because it's some stuff there that y'all
There's a
like.
little
So
bundle of nerves right there in the
right, a little,
asshole
so
that will have you cruising.
right, just a little,
Just a
that don't
little
make you
tap,
gay.
tap, tap in.
Right, let's stop.
I think cis straight men need to be a little bit more educated about that entire region
Yeah,
in
their
general,
bodies
because they also
alone.
just don't. Again, going back to hygiene, they don't, because nobody's going back there. They don't want people to go back there. They don't attend to it the way that they need to. That's why skid marks exist in the world.
Not Skid
Ooh,
So
Row.
please, Jesus.
take it to Skid Row. Yeah, straight guys. You have a prostate. You have an asshole. Um, wash your asshole. Um,
Wash it.
after you use the bathroom, clean it thoroughly.
Right.
Get a
And
bidet.
yeah, get a bidet. Oh my gosh, get a bidet.
Maddie's bidet.
Alba, it's the perfect. Like, please talk about the bidet because it is the perfect. It
Okay.
is the perfect way to like ease straight men into like ass play.
Okay, wait. Yo, there's good taste.
Oh, it's got like
I was happy to spread general bidet joy, not making a political statement.
That's the
And
movement
okay,
now.
clearly this episode is
Ease
officially
on down,
not
ease
safe
on
for
down
work.
the road.
So if you are at work, please, I'm so sorry. This is clearly not safe for work anymore.
Was it ever? I mean, when
We
us mob together, is
no,
it ever
Taking a
safe?
turn, taking a
Nobody
turn,
safe.
and that's okay. That's okay. We
What I
grown.
was
Should have had a
going to
cooler.
say was bidets are good for like practicing that hygiene thing, especially for men who like to leave the little doogies hanging on their butt because they ain't wipe well.
Ooh, no.
Bidet can help you take care of that. I wasn't trying to go that way. Because now
It's
everyone's
okay.
gonna be like, oh, so it's shooting with that kind of pressure to prepare me for the.
I'm doing
And
this
that's
in the
what people
club every time
expect. They
now.
don't want that while they're on the
Y'all know what's
toilet.
up.
They don't want that experience while they're on the toilet. Now everybody's gonna hate bidets, bro.
I'm dead.
No,
But
everybody's gonna love bidets because let's be honest, a lot of straight men now enjoy ass play. Like excuse me, butt
yeah,
play is increasing. We're here now, right? So like, let's be honest. If you want to work
Pause.
up to, your woman experimenting with you in that world, like before going with a finger or something else, water is a
Lead up to
safe.
pegging, start
Yeah,
small.
why not?
Nat said straight
Yeah,
up had
sure,
no
Nat.
Yo,
Why
don't get me
not?
started on Broad City. That's cinematic genius. Love them.
and
Thank you.
it's
Just love
okay.
pleasure.
It's okay. Right. It's okay to enjoy pleasure. It's okay. Just be smart, be safe, be clean, and do what you want. It's okay. Like we in
That's
2021,
it.
girl. Like we are in 20. We are
I
here.
mean, if we're using shower heads, bidets should be usable too. I'm just saying.
Hello. Okay. Right.
Actual
One of my
factuals.
friends called her shower head Enrique. So if we could name shower heads, you could
We're
do some
naming
gameplay.
shower heads?
Okay? Yeah. What?
I didn't know we were naming, and now I'm thinking of a name
My
for my shower head.
yeah, my homegirl calls her shower head Enrique. But
I can't do that. That's my ex boyfriend's name.
anyway, let's not be. And I feel like if we talked more like this, like in general, when I say we, I mean we as a people, if we just talk like this more, there would be less fear and shame and stigma. And to debunk myths, like there is no such thing as like fast. Let's be clear. That's something that somebody created to shame somebody. Like, it's,
Mhm.
especially if we're using it based off of like the way somebody is dressing. Because I tell you right now,
Hmm.
if I want to free the net on a Wednesday morning,
Free it.
do that.
Free
I'm
your mind,
that's
and
it.
the rest will
But
follow.
because who's gonna check me? That's one.
Nobody.
And two, it doesn't mean anything about my personality or who I am as a person. Like now because I dress with my I got skin out, now I'm a hoe or I'm dumb or yeah, she want this, she want that. No, it's just summer
I
and
want
I'm
my skin
cute.
out.
And that's
That's
it.
what I want.
Like that's all it is. So I feel like we need to stop taking that and turning that into something else. Like
Yeah.
let's stop. You know?
Oh
And I think
no.
we should stop faking it. If you're not
Yeah,
enjoying it,
making it. Let's everybody.
be clear that it's not enjoyable for you. Make suggestions about what would be enjoyable for you. Because it's a
Listen,
really sucky thing to be like, this is trash. That's shitty. Try this. Make it
But
different.
you
if
know,
it's trash, it's trash.
with a breathy voice, make it sexy. You can play it up.
Yeah.
Suggestible, like, ooh, do this, turn me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
be cute,
like
be
you don't
cute.
gotta crush no dreams, but
Yeah,
like,
don't be a soul
don't
crusher,
fake
but
it.
like also don't let
Don't-
your own soul be crushed so he could feel good about himself. Also, she could be good about her, feel good about herself.
I don't know. I
Let's
don't know what that is. Like, I don't know where that even started. Like, when, like, is that what love does? I guess is because that's what the tropes are like on TV and like the writing and like when I read books and they be like, yeah, I was with this man all this time and he never satisfied me. I just let him do his thing and get off. I don't love nobody that much.
right.
Like, I don't know, like, I don't love nobody that much to deprive myself of what I need. Like,
Let's be
so first of all,
honest.
you sweating on me, giving me your bodily fluids, and I'm no, honestly, like you gotta think about it like that sometimes. Like you're sweating on me and giving me all your bodily fluids, and I'm not satisfied after this.
That is
Like,
so gross.
I need my money back. Like, I don't understand
I'm gonna need
who
that
started
time
that.
back.
Right? Who started it? Like, I
Ugh.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that is. We're not faking anything for anybody. Anything. Men too, because I knew a couple. I know some of my
Yeah,
homeboys told
thank
me,
you.
yeah,
Mountain Girl too. That one. It's different. Don't assume I'ma like what the last one liked, please.
right.
Ah.
That thing old boy said, he was like, oh, if a woman tells me damn, what was it? He was like, if the woman tells me that she don't like what I'm doing,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna assume that she still want her ex or something like that. Like, oh, she
Okay,
want her ex to have sex.
toxic.
It's not about that. It's that you have to learn.
Toxic femininity. Nah.
Right. So each new partner you have, y'all gotta learn each other's bodies. You're not automatically gonna know how to please your new partner. Like, come on,
Oh my
let's
God, yes.
and please don't shame people for what they like. Like, please, because
Don't
that
kink
I'm
shame. Don't
once
do
I
it.
feel shamed, I bet you'll never touch me again. I bet that. I bet that. I bet you'll be sitting there like that doesn't even make. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. Like, let's not let's not pretend we
Thank
gotta
you.
and that every person adheres to that manual. We don't have a manual, and not everybody's body responds to the same stimulants. So if we take that along with the, uh disclaimer of being healthy and safe and all that and put that's a good time. And also, can we just say, all right, real quick, just between me and you, it's just us, we
It's
family.
just
Look,
us.
good sex and long sex are not the same thing. Cause men be like, yeah, I last for this and this and this, and you lasted trash the whole time. Like that is let's come on,
You
please.
trusted, okay?
You
You trust.
lasted the
You
whole time.
trusted.
It wasn't a good experience. It doesn't matter how long. And realistically, and this is for men too, because I know with some women, not me, but some women like to shame men for being excited too quickly. But it's stimulant. Like what he's I don't know. Like what is he supposed to
Girl, you
do?
good.
Like what? I don't know. Like what? It's rubbing like this. Something's gonna happen to him. Like I don't know. So let's not. Because if it's really that, if that happens and you're not satisfied, let's not violate. Just go again.
Just go,
Just go
yeah.
again. Do it again. Like that's the
Round
beauty of
two.
it. Hey, if somebody respects you and they respect your body, and not for nothing, because that happens to. I am done. I'm not trying to expose myself, but that happens to women
Expose
too.
yourself.
Sometimes it's just, sometimes the mindset is, wow, I like this person so much and they're really having sex with me. Like that's what's happening at first. And then you know what I mean?
Exposed. I need a
And then,
button.
boom. And then, well, I'm just saying, let's not shame people for how
Yeah.
short or long or whatever, because the beauty of sex is that you can have it as much as you want. So, to
Yeah,
be
this is
honest,
why we have to give more props to like quickies because, for the guys that can't go longer than, 2, 3 minutes, there's still a market out there. You just have to find the right person that actually enjoys quickies. You know what I mean?
some women
And
only got 3 minutes to
communicate.
spare, Paul. So you better get it in, and that's it.
Hello.
Facts.
Just gotta find your lobster. Gotta
Also,
find it.
uh, in the same breath, large penis doesn't mean good penis.
Oh
Okay,
my
you
God.
have
Yes.
all the fixins, and you still can't cook. You know what I mean? It don't matter if you got all the ingredients. If your food still trash, it's trash. You know what I'm saying? Like let's come on. You know,
I agree with
I
that.
met Jack
But
slid back
seriously,
back in the view on cue.
I I mean, because it is what it is. You could be packing, but it's not really a gift if it's just
If you ain't
sitting
got no
there.
motion for the ocean.
also, I definitely want to add pretty boys because I feel like pretty boys are mostly guilty of this. You being pretty does not mean that you don't have to do actual work when it comes to sex. You're you need to actually put in the work. You need to learn what your partner actually wants, whether you're gay, straight, doesn't matter.
Women
You
Kevin.
too.
having a face to just turn someone on isn't actually enough.
That
And
is.
the body.
Yeah.
Hello,
That does not
women
drive my
too.
car, baby. That is a
Women
decal at
too.
best.
That's too. Y'all be. I love y'all, but y'all women sometimes it's like
If
I'm pretty. I
you
don't gotta
don't
do nothing. I'm pretty. I don't gotta do nothing. Girl, he's bored.
if you don't participate,
Yeah.
this is a team sport.
Right. It's a
Play your
team effort.
position.
Really though. Like.
Like, you will get out of here.
Cause I be
That
seeing
lazy
memes.
noodle.
I be seeing those memes like, oh, what is it? Like good pussy don't gotta suck dick. What that
All right, but
mean?
not everyone's though.
What that mean? But what that mean? And granted, you don't gotta put your okay.
Everybody can't get the motor mouth 3000.
But I'm not saying, but that's not what that means. But you know what I'm saying though. But the fact that that's your first response to that is part of the problem because not everybody, nobody said good pussy sucks every dick or good pussy don't gotta suck every dick. No, she just was like, if her vagina is awesome, she doesn't have to pleasure the other person she's with, and that's trash. Like
Yeah,
what?
no,
I'm not
that is
saying you gotta
actual
give head
garbage.
to everybody you deal with or whatever, but like, come on, bro, come on. Do you
Since
want some
we're here,
brothers? You know,
since
do you?
we're here, that goes for tops two. Now, I'm not calling everybody out in the community, but in the community, there are definitely a lot of tops who feel like they don't need to go down on their bottoms, and there are definitely bottoms who are just like, I don't want you going anywhere near the front. Just worry about the back. But there's a lot of shame in tops going down on the bottoms. Um, the same way that a lot of, I'm not going to call out any nations, but we know the stereotype about certain Caribbean men who are just like, I'm not eating a woman's box.
And they be lying. They be lying.
Cause baby,
Y'all be lying. Y'all be lying. That's all I'm gonna say.
cause
You
baby.
you get it from your clothes, but as soon as the door closed, you like, oh, why you still got those on? Stop it! Stop it!
Stop the
Lie.
cap.
Stop the
Stop
madness.
it. Stop it.
Notice how they both those windows got mad excited.
Ah,
You ain't even finish your sentence and they ready to debunk it. Like, no.
Because
Because they be
I
lying.
personally have been told I don't. All right, then we won't.
Right, that's it.
I mean, but I thought you don't. Okay.
Right. Right, exactly. Like, and then I just know because it's like, you know, Caribbean men are my thing. You know what I mean? So
I can hate them.
yeah, be lying, lies, lies over here. It's okay to do whatever you want to do, and it's okay to have boundaries and like, hey, that may it's different to say that makes me uncomfortable. Saying that makes me uncomfortable is not the same as oh I don't do that. But then when the fire is hot, you on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like, stop the cap, stop the cap. Exactly, exactly.
Cut
stop
it
the
out.
cat.
Cut
Stop the
it
cap.
out.
Mhm. Cut it out. But listen, yeah, it's it's
Oh
okay.
man.
Do what you
My son never told me that shit.
right, yeah, but Spice taught her how to say like words in patois and stuff. And then one of the words that popped up was cat. And she was like, they was like, what's that? She was like, oh, a man who like it's a term from a man to another man that pleasures his woman orally. So now a lot of Caribbean men be like, oh, I'm not cat. Like, yeah, meow meow. You know? So
All right, Big
but,
Purr.
like, mhm. But you
Big
know, the point is do what you want, do it how you want, when you want, be safe, be clean, be smart, and and listen to your body. Like let's let's not have sex we don't want to have. Since we're talking about sex, we have to like just highlight if somebody has to persuade you, if somebody has to bribe you, if somebody has to give you things to loosen you up, that is not sex that you should be having, loves. Okay, that's not gonna be good. And it don't even gotta be that extreme because you can have a boyfriend, you can have a partner, and it's like if you feel yourself going, oh, okay, fine. If that happens, that's not sex that you should be having either. That means you're not with it. It's
Yep.
not going to be enjoyable. It's not. Don't have sex just
yeah.
to please somebody else because sex is a transactional exchange. We are supposed to be enjoying each other. Like I wish, I wish, I wish. You know what I mean? So just be safe. be careful, listen to your body, be mindful, and don't be afraid to love on one another and just feel the love.
And in that same vein, if you for because I know people be like, but I didn't want to mess up the vibe. So fuck the vibe. The moment you feel uncomfortable, you are entitled. And I had to tell a student this just last week. You are entitled to change your mind. You are entitled to change your mind.
Any
I don't
point.
give a fuck if you started. If you decide for any reason the wind blew the wrong way and you don't fucking wanna anymore, you are entitled to change your mind. And if your partner does not respect that, that is not okay. And I
Right.
need you to understand you are entitled to change your mind. So in the same vein where Zay just said, be safe. That you recognize when you don't wanna. The moment you realize you don't wanna, communicate that to your partner clearly. I don't wanna. And if your partner does not respect that, you let someone know.
Right.
Please don't hold on to that.
The
Please
word
don't.
partner is partner for a reason because
Yeah,
it
please don't hold
automatically
on to that.
implies that y'all are a team.
Yep.
Partner, it automatically implies that y'all are on the same wavelength. So the moment
Yep.
that you feel like this person that you thought was your partner is not on your wavelength right now for something this serious, they probably should not be your partner. If they don't respect your level of I'm not feeling this, because literally, and I just want to make this clear, everything after the word no is wrong. That's it.
That part.
Everything after I don't feel like it or I'm not right now, not right now. Please don't force me. Like everything after this is not it for me is a crime. I just want to make that clear because I know, especially for people who are like in long term relationships and stuff like that, like sometimes the lines get blurry because it's like, oh, I didn't want to, but he wore me down. And people say it like jokingly and stuff like that. But in reality, if you are getting worn down,
Yep.
that's not good. That is not, nobody should have to wear you down. Either you're for it or you're
Or
not.
you're
You're
not.
it or you're not. And if the person that you're dealing with can't catch that, that should not be your person. And they probably aren't your person anyway. So, let's just, cover all the
Yeah.
bases in that way. Like, it's important to feel like not only enjoy sex, but that your sex is respectful and that the feelings that come with sex are respected because sex is both an experience and a responsibility, so you have to be mindful of that because
Yep.
in that moment you are responsible for yourself and that person is responsible for respecting your needs or you would not be giving your body to that person at all. So let's just put that out there. If a person does not respect what you are feeling and what you need, they should not be having the privilege of getting down with your body, and that's it.
I just to add on to that, all of what was just said applies for both and everything in between the genders. So
Absolutely.
that goes for everybody because I know a lot of the times, and I'm not saying this is the case with you guys, but a lot of times we hear that message and we think strictly in terms of, the woman being the one who's being worn down and the man who's being the aggressor. But there does exist where a lot of women feel like in the opposite, if it was switched, it's okay. There's a lot of women who feel entitled to their man or a boy or the boundary of crossing how to touch them in a way that nobody really wants to think about. We think about the women, and that is not to minimize their experience at all, but like we need to apply that just as equally. We need to stop thinking that the only people who perpetuate that are men.
Yeah.
Glad you said that too because there's a level of like you're a punk if you say no. If she want to give you something you don't want it, or you soft, or oh you turned your woman down, or you stupid, like none of that even
None of
matters.
that. None of that
None of that.
toxicity.
No, we don't
If you
even
don't want it, you
claim
don't
that.
want it.
You don't want
Period.
it.
Some women will be
That's it.
like, "Oh, are you cheating on me with somebody else because you didn't want to screw tonight?" And it's like, I could be just tired. He could be
Right.
just tired.
Right. Really though.
Yeah.
So that's important too.
I love when you set a boundary and somebody takes it as an attack. The fuck?
But
Like what?
that was
I just
my
said not
boundary.
tonight.
I
I didn't
do.
say not ever.
I
Relax.
really know.
But just don't let nobody push up on your boundaries. Don't let nobody disrespect that.
Hey,
Be clear
don't
about the
let
things that you are
anybody,
willing to do and the things that you are unwilling to do. And let's have
exactly.
safe sex and great sex, y'all. Let's do
Hey,
that.
and speaking to the men, just for a last second, emotional warfare is a thing. It is a thing. A woman will, oh, to death to get what she wants, and that is not okay. Not
Hmm.
all women, the same way as not all men, but I know I'm just want to make it clear that I know that women like that exist. I have brothers. I have been in some situations, so I'm just
Seen a thing or
saying,
two.
seen a thing or two. But it's important. Like everyone is valid. Everyone deserves to be listened to. Everyone deserves to have happy, healthy, safe, fantastic sex. And that's it. And
And
wash our
therefore
booties.
Miri. And watch what?
Wash our booties. Wash our
Watch,
booties.
yes, watch the booty
And
hole. It's
wash
the
our
booty
booties.
hole. If you had to recommend one movie or TV show that like did sex right, what would it be?
Um,
Sex bomb.
bye. That's a porn. No, shut up. No, don't listen to her.
But the
Um,
first one, the second one's trash.
um, that did sex right.
Yeah,
It's a
that either
few.
like you
Show.
should watch,
It's a
like if you
few
like either
shows.
sex ed
Ooh,
or like
okay. Okay, so I have two. So this Zane put out a show years back. I wish he would put it back on TV, but it was called like The Sex Chronicles because it was from one of her books that she published. And they did sex so right, like the level of consent and the are you okay with this? All that was just
I think they use condoms.
they used condom. It was just beautiful. And they were just like fine ass black people. So that was just a plus. But like the consent, the everything was just so on point. And I was like, put this on TV some more. Like I was very happy with what I saw. And for people who are um in the community, I feel like sex was done right in this movie called Below Her Mouth. Granted, the situations as to why they started having sex wasn't technically right. 'Cause she was having an affair, but the actual sex itself is very nice because I think people put two women on screen and it's always like, let's visit. Like that's not lesbian.
That indie film?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's not like how sex is even is. But it was nice to see an accurate depiction. Oh, and also queer as folk.
hmm,
Brian Kenny, when he was like, "Do you have condoms?" My heart burst because it was about a young boy like coming into his, a homosexuality for the first time and falling in love with like this playboy guy who just did whatever he wanted. And but like the way they evolved and respected each other's bodies and it's just beautiful. So queer as folk, Below Her Mouth, the Sex Chronicles show by Zane. Get into it.
I'm gonna
Oh,
type
and also
these
the
in the
L
chat.
word. The L word taught that same sex couples do fuck each other. And I know that's bad to say, but I just want to put that in the air real quick because I think I don't know, a lot of cisgendered society views queer sex as one way, but it's very not that. So just the L word, queer as folk, Below Her Mouth, the Sex Chronicles, all that is the proper way to engage your body with another person. Now the situations they be getting themselves in may be messy themselves, but the sex is good and consensual and nice. And even when they have to depict a scene that is not so savory, they make it clear like this is not what's supposed to happen. This is not what you're supposed to do. This is the opposite of how you're supposed to treat a person. So I think that's important because a lot of especially like in porn, like Asia was like sex spy. That's a porn. Do not listen to her. But
It's a good storyline.
just because the storyline is good, the sex was bad. The sex itself was bad. It was
It
not. It was not. They didn't use condoms. It wasn't. It wasn't a good. Yeah.
because she was undercover.
No. What? Not a good. Not a good depiction.
Don't
No.
use condoms because you're undercover.
Yeah. Don't.
Undercover hoe.
But yes, it's very important. Oh, and also the L Word Generation Q. It touches on period sex. So I think that's, if you want to check that out, that's the newest version of the L Word. It's actually really good. So go for it.
Thank you. I think I got that right. I'm not sure. Danke, baby. Well, you have any recommendations for what people should watch for either good sex scenes or not so great?
There's a lot of not so great sex scenes out there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm bougie when it comes to sex scenes because knowing that so many of them are just so orchestrated, it's like I can't. It's like bad horror movies for me. It's like once I start thinking about how they did it, like how they created the scene, it's easy for me to get taken out of it. Honestly, the only if we're talking about like real sex, I think watching HBO's Real Sex, which is a throwback, but like it was real people, it was real kinks. So you're literally watching what people are actually doing in their households or at whatever sex clubs they chose to. And these were everyday people. They weren't, actors or celebrities pretending. It wasn't pretend. It was literally, this is literally what sex in America is like. This is what people get into. And I feel like if you're a young person, it's definitely worth watching because you get to see like just how expansive the market is out there. Like you might be someone who literally can only get off, you know, if you're having sex with a person that wears a lot of buttons on their shirts or something, you know what I mean? But like that's what it showed you. It was like, oh, here's a club where people go to because they really enjoy having sex with people that wear buttons, Like it was one of those things where it's like you can do the actual research to get rid of the shame, um, because there's literally a market out there for everything, and you really shouldn't feel any type of shame for liking what you like as long as it's within the realms of consent. So I would recommend HBO's documentaries. It was a bunch that came out like back in the 90s, I think like the early 2000s. And I think it's actually a timeless thing. HBO's Real Sex. I would honestly recommend that before I recommend like any scripted show because it's just, again, I can't help but see how they fake the funk. I'll be honest, I do watch a lot of straight porn, but like I would rather watch straight porn than watch straight scenes sometimes in movies and everything because it's like the first thing that they do is like they're having sex and the girl usually still has a bra on and they got the sheets over that. It just looks so uncomfortable. I'm like, who's actually having sex like that? I get that like you can't show certain things, but it's very hard to like make it, and this is where actors get paid the big bucks, but it's to me it's like how it reads as like a scene. um so yeah, I would literally recommend HBO's Real Sex if you want to get like the real deal on sex and the way that people are doing it and exploring whatever kinks you might have.
Interesting. I never like watched that because I didn't know what the hell it was. But now I might go back and like give it a watch to see what all the hoopla and hubbub is about.
I missed a little snap for Real Sex. Take one.
Yeah.
For me, I think the show. No, it was a movie actually. The movie for me that I was like, oh, this is it was more like realistic. I think it was like the most realistic adaptation of what I think sex actually looked like for kids. It's actually called Kids. It was kids, like high schoolers.
Yeah, kids. I seen that.
Because I
Mhm.
was like, this is reality. This is what kids are doing. And
Yeah.
this is what kids like. And I remember distinctly, it was like the two girls where they were like terrified to go get. And one was like, yes, let's go get tested. And the other one was like, no, I've been with too many men. I'm terrified. And then like they go,
I mean, Rosario.
yes, Rosario Dawson. That's when I realized I loved her. And I was like, I wish that's the movie. I wish I could like that would be the sex ed movie I show students. This is what you think. This is the sex world that you think you're in. This is the cold hard reality of the world you're in when you don't have knowledge. When you think, oh, but it was my first time. Yeah, first time could be last time too. Like it only takes one. People get pregnant on first time. Like lots of and y'all always think I'm invincible because I'm like 12, but you're not. Like you're like your mortality is like right there. Um, and for me, that movie, Kids, was like, oh, cause like yeah, I had my dad terrifying me, and I was shook, but it wasn't until I like saw it, and I was like, oh, like this is really real. Okay, that it like that was for me it where I was like, nope, this stuff actually had because like legitimately, that's my neighborhood, you know. So I'm like, okay, this is how we living. Kids, I'm putting in chat. Cowboy, you got one?
Um, no, only because I never really looked at movies and TV shows as like something that's gonna. I never looked at them that way to have one that I feel like does it well. I actually look at them for ways that are more like fairy tales. So I look at the ones that aren't too vulgar. Like I look for favorite scenes where they show sexual tension without the vulgarity of it, almost romancing it a little bit. So I don't have one.
All right. Well, chat if you have one. If you have a recommendation of what you think is an accurate representation of sex, drop it in chat or drop it in the Discord. I'll drop the Discord for you right quick. Discord. We like to spread knowledge. Thank you for coming to today's show on sexual health. And we will see you next time. Y'all, we need somebody to love on thickly. Who we doing that to? Jax, find somebody for us to love on thickly. We love you guys. We will see you next week, Friday. Same time, man. Same time. We out.